Okay, good afternoon everyone. I'm Casey Christensen. I'm coming to you live from West Kelowna, BC, Canada. And today I'm going to have another play with the Flowering Tulips stamp set and dies. I played with it a little bit yesterday. I made an interesting card. I was sort of floating my own boat in terms of how these dies are used. And it turns out that I didn't use them correctly, but you know what? I'm doing this again. I used too many pieces, but I really love it. I love how it turned out. Don't ask me what 3 pieces I used. I'm not sure, but I know I stuffed 3 pieces in there. 3 folded pieces. So that's why my flower's a little thick, but you know what? It's really realistic looking and I'm very fond of it. So today, I thought I would try making my tulips from DSP. So remember this. This is the new Horizons DSP. It's still current. I think it expires at the end of this month. I think you can still get it. But I was just looking at it and thinking, look at all the beautiful colors that are in this paper that you could use to do tulips. I mean, look at this, for example, for tulips. Tulips are all kinds of different colors. And then I thought I could even do my stems and my leaves using some of this great paper. So we're going to do a fun fold card. Hi, Kimmy. We're going to do a fun fold card today, just because why not? So let's start with our card base first, because that's kind of how I like to do it. This is just your standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. I'm going to bring over my trimmer here, and I'm going to cut it 5.5. So half a sheet. Then I'm going to score it at 4.25. And then, hang on for 1 second, I'm going to score it again at 2 1/8. But I'm going to flip it over to score it. There's a method to the madness here. I think I'm going to flip it over to score it. Let me look. Let me make sure. No, I'm not going to flip it over. So I want 2 1/8, okay? 2 1/8. Look at me using fractions and everything. So that's going to be our basic fun fold. So it simply folds like this. And again, like that. It's a Z fold card. So, but it's just a little more interesting than your average card. So just something a little more interesting. So not quite sure where I'm going to go with this yet. I kind of like the idea of using the last of my contoured bits, but I'm trying to decide if I think I'm going to want to put a piece of DSP in here. I'm not quite sure what yet. So let's set that aside and let's make some tulips and see if this speaks to me. Okay, so I did go online and I played with some of the things, some of the videos I saw online, and for the best of my ability, this is how the tulips are supposed to go. So this one forms a narrower, maybe like not quite as open a tulip. The next one, the tulip's a little further open, and the third one, the tulip is all the way open. Now I used 1, 2, 3 yesterday. Wasn't the right thing to do, but I was just playing. So I used these 3 yesterday, stuffed them all in together, and guess what? I love it. I really do love it. I'll do that again. It's thicker. It certainly has more impact, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous tulip. So, you know, do whatever you want to do for your tulips. But this is the way they're intended to be used. So I'm going to try this. So I'm going to go with purpley looking tulips to start with. I'm just going to cut myself a piece of this. And let's start with these two. Now with this, it's great because we can use the mini embossing machine for all of these dies. So let's get that out. Got my mini embossing machine. It was pretty exciting to have a puppy here for a few hours, Kim. I really, really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. It was fun. Just the cutest little guy. My husband opened the door to do something, and this little raggedy-eared thing just flew in the door. It literally just flew in the door. Was that the piece I wanted? I think it was. Yes, I think that's a good piece. Let's try it. Let's try it. We're going to go with these purpley. So we'll make one like this. So let's start with the first one and see how we go. And you want to strategically place these, okay? So I know that this is the outside of my tulip, so I've got that on the darkest of the tulip bit, and I think I'm going to place this one over here on the one that's a shade or two darker, or lighter, a shade or two lighter. And we'll see what we think of the tulips that are made the way they're intended to be made. I'm still going to make mine with all the layers because I really loved it. I just thought it was gorgeous. And I love the depth of it. It's very three-dimensional, extremely three-dimensional. Okay, so here we have, we'll keep all these little bits because you never know when something's going to come in handy. So we've got this little guy here. I'm going to put them on here so we can see them better. So we got that little guy here and this little guy here. So this guy's simply going to fold over, and this guy, I hope I didn't rearrange the order of my dies. There they are. Okay, let's not rearrange those. You know what I think I'm going to do so that I can remember it? This is the flip side of the piece of paper that my dies came on, okay? So I think I'm going to arrange these and draw around them so that I'll always know. I mean, I draw around them on the side that's sticky, but I'm going to draw around them so that I'll always know what's intended to be done. Whether I do it or not is neither here nor there, but that's what's intended. So I'm going to take just a little spot of glue here on this one. I'm just going to, just a tiny bit, because all it needs to do is fit into that little bit there. And just tuck that in there. And then these two. And there's your little tulip. Now, I can see, because my paper has two sides, I can see a little bit of blue there. I'm trying to decide whether I care or not. It's quite possible that I don't care that there's a little bit of blue there because it's still kind of in keeping with what I'm doing. Okay, so what I am going to do though is I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to lightly distress this paper here. So it's a little more roundy, technical term, a little more roundy, and gives my tulip a little more depth. Okay, so this one's just going to have the tiniest little bit of glue right there, like nearly nothing. And then a little tiny bit on this one here. Again, nearly nothing. And then we're just going to hold those for a second to get them to sit down. Okay. That one doesn't want to stick down at all. There we go. So there's one tulip. So let's try this one next. Maybe we'll do a different color. How about we do this kind of, will that fit in there? Not quite. I'm going to cut off. Now this should be interesting because it's got pink on the back side. But we'll see what happens, okay? Let's just see what happens. Because I think this is kind of fun, I think, what's happening here. So let's take our next one and we'll put, I'm trying to sort of base the lower half of my tulip is going to be in the orangey bit. And then the upper half of my tulip, I think I'm going to put right there. I want to conserve paper to a certain extent, but by the same token, I want it to be how I want it to be. So I'm not really that concerned with conserving the paper so much as I am getting the colors that I want to get. So let's see how this looks. Whoops, that's in the way. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So this is the second set. So that's this die and this die. And there really are a lot of dies in this set. So there we go. That's a little better. Okay, there's lots and lots of dies in this set. So let's see how these guys look. And this one, this is the one that's going to fold over, but then you're going to, I'm going to flip this over and show you. If I just flat fold this over, you see how much paper is extending outside the side of that tulip? I don't believe that's intended. I believe you're intended to push it in like this so that your tulip has some dimension, okay? And it does. So let's do that. Be a little delicate with this paper. It's not DSP, or it's not, these are fairly fine dies, and the paper is not cardstock, so it needs to be handled a little bit gingerly, so as not to tear any of your pieces. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on this edge. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. And I'll push that down. Give it a hold. Well, that's kind of 3D looking, isn't it? That's quite pretty. So there's the second one. So you've got one that's kind of like a new one. A new kind of, well, which way does it even go? I think it goes this way. So you've got kind of a new looking tulip. You got one that's coming out pretty good. And now we're going to do one that is fully bloomed. And I'm just looking to see what that would be good with. Maybe this one. You have this paper, Kim, right? I love this paper. Shoot. My chat, for some reason, does not keep up with me. Let me have a look. The measurements for what, Kim? Oh, for the fold. For the fold. Okay, yes, I will absolutely send you that. Yes, my favorite paper, too. Well, it says to match the bottom. It doesn't say to match the bottom. It makes sense to match the bottom, but I don't know. You know what? It's your flower. You can do whatever you want, right? Maybe push it up from the bottom would be a good idea. Okay, let me see what else. Sorry, I think that is the paper I have. What is it called again? New Horizons. Yes, you have that paper. Yes, I will. I'll tell you right now, actually, Kim. So it's, if you want to write it down, this is 8.5 by 5.5. So you're going to score it at 4 1/4, like you always score at 4 1/4. But then you're going to score this 4 1/4 in half, which is 2 1/8. Okay? So 2 1/8, 4 1/4 from a standard card size. So we get this. Okay? Let me know if you still need them by email or whatever. I can do that, no problem. So let's do another one of these. Let's do another one, and let's see what we get here. Oh no, that's not what I need. That's not going to emboss anything. It's really warm today. I'm kind of struggling with the heat a bit. I think, because I like these little lines on here, I think I'm going to do this one right, making sure I get as much of this lined stuff as possible, because it looks very, very cool. I'm just going to put them all together and see what I get. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that one, Kim, in a second. I'm just looking at it now with a different eye. I do love these dies. They're quite cool. Now, there's a couple of things you can do. One of them I can't do right now because, as I mentioned before, I need to get some daubers, okay? So there's a couple things you could do around this bottom here where it's blue. I think this is the bottom. When I look at the shape of a tulip, okay, I'm looking at the shape of a tulip, and I think it's wider at the bottom and goes up a little bit narrower at the top. Sorry, that was a dumb placement, but, you know, so I'm going to actually cut off that bit down there that's showing. And this is going to be my top. But here's what you could do if you had some usable daubers. I have ordered some, so they should be here Tuesday, I think. You could also take your ink, whichever ink coordinates best with it, and use your dauber and go around those edges and take and color them, okay? Okay, so let's see what this one looks like. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Did you get the fold measurements, Kim, or do you need me to, I can text them to you later. It is one of my favorite fun folds. It's kind of effortless, but effective, you know. It's kind of an effective kind of a thing. So, let's see what this one looks like. So this one, let's have a look at the folds first. Okay, so there's the beginning of that one. So then this piece is going to go in here, similar to what I did yesterday. Similar, but yesterday I didn't use any of these smaller pieces, you see. So there it is. I think that's really pretty. That might be my favorite. That just might be my favorite. Okay, so let's put that together. We're going to start with a little dot of glue right here. Hi, Dorothy. Nice to see you. We're playing with the tulips again, but look what I'm using. I'm using all this New Horizons paper, and I'm making sort of DSP tulips. I think they look pretty good. Now we're going to pop another little bit of glue in here. I don't know if you saw my Facebook this today, Dorothy, but I was babysitting a puppy for a little while today. This little puppy, my husband opened the door to do something, and this little puppy literally jumped into my house, onto my lap, and so I was looking after him, so he was safe. Turns out he belongs to my neighbor, and I guess he hadn't done a very good job of securing him when he went out, and so he got out. But I sure hope I hope he learned something from that and at least puts a collar on him. There's no collar on him. So, oh, I like that. I think that looks pretty nice. So I've made my 3 tulips. I've got 3 little tulips here, all using the paper from the New Horizons. Dorothy, this is what I figured out yesterday are the correct order of the tulips. However, the tulip I made yesterday used all three of these folded bits, and I just made them go together, and frankly, just between you and me, I love my tulip. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I used all 3 of the folded bits. It's thicker, but it's also much more realistic. So bear that in mind. This is the intention here. That's the intention. But I like the one I did using the 3 folded pieces. So up to you. Up to you what you want to do. So because this paper has 2 sides, I've noticed down here that on the bottom of the first part, there's a little blue showing that I don't really want. I don't mind a little showing. I just don't want that much showing. So I've cut that off. Okay. So let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can carry on with the DSP theme for leaves and whatnot. Okay, I'll have to put these up here. Dorothy, I decided what I'm going to do. This is the flip side. My dies are underneath here. This is the flip side of my dies. But just so that I can remember this, I am going to draw these on here so I have a little reference, and then I'll put them back on the flip side. But just to have a little drawing so I can refer back to how they say it's supposed to be. But I guarantee you I'm still going to do it using the 3 folded bits because I like them so much. I might even do one today. I don't know. We'll see how time goes. So now I want some leaves. What if I use this for leaves? Let's find my dies. Okay, I'm going to take those off. Let's find my leaves. I think I'm going to do just the smaller leaves. The other ones feel big to me. So I'm going to just do 1, 2 smaller. Well, wait a minute. I'm going to have 3 stems. Let's do my stems first. I'll find another piece for my leaves, because I'm going to need these stems, aren't I? I'm thinking. Let's put aside my flowers. And all these dies, again, all these dies are user-friendly to the mini embossing machine, which is great. What are the chances that I can get both of those and a leaf out of here? What are the chances? Well, the chances are really good. I love it when that happens. There we go. Please don't move, please don't move, please don't move. Yeah, it was fun being a dog owner for 3 hours. It was a cute little guy. I have no idea what it is. We didn't know its name either because we've never met the dog, but anyways, it's a cute little guy. I think my husband learned later that his name is Sam. Okay, so we got a couple of stems here. Let's have our bits here so you can see. So we've got flowers and stems. We might need another stem, I'm not sure. Just depends on how we decide to place these. So let's look for another piece of paper that we can use. Even this I don't throw out, you know, because there's so many times when I just need a little hint of green, just a little thing. Like what if I did, well, I'm not going to, but what if I had a little die cut that size? I can still use that, right? So it's pretty rare that I throw things out. But let's just see what else I can find. That's not really going to work for me. I need it to be that other kind of green there. Please tell me I have some more. That would be nice. No, not quite, but I'm going to hang on to that one. I'm going to leave that one out. I would like some more of... See, look at these papers. These are just so great for the tulips, right? Any number of these. Like, look, for nice subtle tulips. There's all kinds of... And this one, look at this one. I see tulips all over the place there. So this one might work for a little bit more green. There's so many colors in this, though. You know, there's just so many different colors in this paper. And to be honest, when I first got the paper, I knew in my heart I would use all of these sides, but I wasn't quite sure if I would use these sides. Now I will, because they're tulips. To me, I see tulips, especially those dark purple ones. Those are tulips all over the place, right? Okay. I might have to use that one, because I don't think I have any more of the exact piece that I took that from. In fact, I think it was... You know what I think it was? The piece that other green came through. Yes, I'm praying to the don't move gods all the time. I think that piece that I had was from my favorite piece of paper, and I used every little scrap of it. So let's maybe get another. Stem. And another leaf. And I'm going to use the long stem just because I like the thinness of it. It's thinner than the other one. So, and I like the thinner stem. I learned that last night when I was looking at the card that I made with you yesterday. I wished I'd used the longer, thinner stem. because I know tulips are almost always a long stem, and I felt like my card could have used more of a stem. Okay, let's have a look at this and see what we've got. I kind of want to put it on this contoured thing, which, by the way, I mentioned to you how much I like those things. I did put an order in. Well, I haven't put it in yet, but I did add one of these. I did add these contoured dies to my order because I really, really like. I didn't think I liked them at first. They're very scallopy, you know, but I really like them. So I want to have some DSP on here, but I'm not quite sure which one I want to use. Okay, get out, get out. Okay, so we're gonna use something maybe a little subtle. I don't know if this would be too much. I think it would. I think it would. I just answered my own question. I'm just looking at my different papers here. I'm thinking of, you know, something like this might be nice. Something subtle, something not too busy. There's also this one. Maybe this one would be better. It's a little more subtle. And it could be the background of some tulips, I suppose. The one I wanted to use, I think, looking at it now, I think it's a little too busy. Yeah, I think I'm going to use that one. So let's measure this little piece here, because I want it to go in this little piece nicely. So let's measure this. So it's going to be, oh sure, don't come up with a normal measurement. It's going to be 2.5 and a titch. Okay, let's start there. 2.5 and a titch. And I think I want these to be, do they have a direction? Not really. So I'm going to start by cutting a 2.5-inch strip. And I might have to do the old cheater method. 2.5 and a titch. There we go. 2.5 and a titch. This paper's throwing me off because it's an angled print. And then for the bottom measurement, I might just do, that's not right. I don't like that. It was 2.5 and 2 titches, I guess. Jeez Louise. Yeah, 2.5 and 2 titches. Technical terms here, people. Technical terms. There. Now I'm going to do this one by marking it, just because sometimes I find that a little bit easier than trying to figure out the little bitsy bits. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted to fit in there like it was meant to be. So I've just made a little pencil marking on there for my sizing, and that'll work, providing I can see it. There we go. Okay. Yes, I like that. It's subtle, it's not too much of anything, it's just a little better than a plain white piece of paper, okay? That's what I'm after. A little better than a plain white piece of paper. So let's put this down. Oh, I cut a bear in half. Okay. Okay, so let's glue this down. That's not happening there. Probably needs a new tape. Okay. Now, I do want something on here and here. So, that's going to be, I think, this. This is from the Wonderful World DSP. And for starters, I'm going to cut it the 2 1/8, no. Yeah, I'm going to cut it the size of the card so that I can trim down evenly all the way around. I know that seems weird, but it works better for me. I work better that way. So I'm going to cut it the 4 1/4. Does this have a direction? I don't think so, but anyways, I'm going to cut it the 4 1/4. By 5 1/2. And I'll trim it down in a second. And then I'm going to cut the 2 1/8. I can get it out of here. 2 1/8 is that outside measurement. Is that what it is, Kim? Okay. That's just a good, you know, for me, that's just a good starting point for me. I know it may be wasteful of tiny slivers of paper, but it's just how I work, and I'm good with it. All right, so on 2 sides only, we're going to trim this. So we're going to trim it 1 notch. One on that side, just that first notch right here on the ruler. 1 on that side and 1 on that side. So that's this piece, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing over here. See, that's what I'm wasting. And really, you know what? I'm not wasting it all because it goes in the strip bin. And it'll get used on my strip cards. It's actually kind of nice to have a teeny tiny little strip like that when you're doing the strip cards. Okay? Tiny, tiny little bit. Oh my goodness, am I ever warm. It's been a warm day here in West Kelowna. We're supposed to get lots of rain coming up, but so far so good. It's been nice. Now, I really want this to work. It might. It might. Okay. One piece. There we go. Yeah, I guess I have taught you quite a few things over the years we've known each other, haven't I? Okay, so there we have it. There's my bases of my card, and here's where my tulips are going to sit, okay? All right, so let's work on our tulips. Now, what did okay, last time I cut little tiny strips for the stems, didn't I? So let's get an idea of where we want this to be first. So I'm going to kind of display them out where we want them. Just a little bunch like so. I think that's gorgeous. Just subtle, right? They're probably going to be higher up. I'm going to do my stems first. Did I do 2 stems? Yeah, I did. No, here they are. Okay, my stems are going to be a little tricky. So you know what I'm going to do? If I'd thought about it, I might have done my stems using the Stickum. You know, the adhesive sheets. I might have thought of doing that. But I didn't because I wasn't that ahead of the game when I started this. I just sort of... Okay, it's not coming out. Nothing's coming out. So I'm just going to hit this with a very small, hardly anything amount of glue. And I think I'm going to let it kind of float off the paper. a little. We'll see how that works. I can always trim it off, right? I can always trim it off. I probably need a third stem. Can I get one? Do you think I can get one? Let me just whip one off, okay? I kind of feel like I want a third stem. I'm just going to whip it off of this lighter portion here. I just feel like it needs, there's 3 flowers. I guess that's how I'm thinking of it. There's 3 flowers, and so 3 stems is a good idea. And we might need more leaves, but let's just see how we go, okay? Let's just see how we go. Where's my pin? They're very fine, these stems. I'm not that fond of this one at all. I think I'm more of a fan of the narrow stems. I think they look a little bit more tulip-like. There we go. So let's start with this bigger tulip. Let's get some, I'll use these black ones, what the heck. Let's get some dimensionals, and we'll start with the bigger tulip. And then the smaller one can kind of be off like so. Okay. And then this little guy. See, they're really meant to be in, let's make sure I've got this the way I think is right side up. They've really got these in various stages of bloom, don't they? I mean, that, to me, that's what it looks like. It's 3 stages of blooming. Look at that. That is so pretty. All right, let's see our leaves. I think we'll do one. One like so. And we'll do this one. So I guess I'm going to have to trim these little guys off. I kind of don't want to, but I think I better. Otherwise, they're just going to be in the way. Okay, now I think we need, let's see what I've got in here. Let's check out the Dexter dish and see what we've got. We definitely need a piece of cardstock to go on the inside, and I'll show you how I do this. So for starters, what I'm going to do, and I think I'll use glue. For starters, I'm going to glue one side only of this card, okay? Just one side, because we don't want it to stick our card shut, right? So I'm going to do that. Okay, just on the one side. And then plop that down. And that's the other nice thing about the glue, is you have room to move, okay? You can scooch it around a little bit and get it properly centered. Now, isn't that cool? Let's get our deckled Or maybe our stylish shapes. Let's see what the stylish shapes give us. No, too small. I need something bigger. Okay. Oh, well, I don't quite know where my decals are. That's funny. I really don't. Isn't that funny? What have I done? Got some spots. There they are. They're just not in the right place. That's all. They're just not in the right place. So let's find a deckled rectangle that's the size of this. See that? So that's a good size. So that's what size we'll do our inside greeting. So I'm just going to take some scissors, cut myself a piece of basic white, and let me show you how to get that perfectly placed inside your card. And then we're going to look in the Dexter dish and see if we have a pre-made sentiment. And if not, well then, we'll meet. So this is a great little trick to make sure that you have your inside card placed nicely. See, we want our inside card placed here, but we also want it to coordinate well with our outside card, so nothing's showing it and it's nice and even. So what I'm going to do is, it kind of fits inside the stitched line there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take these are the full-size Post-it notes, okay? Just going to take a Post-it note, full size meaning they're sticky all over. The whole back of this is sticky. I'm just going to fold it in half. And I'm going to put it on here. Okay, so it's stuck down on there pretty good, but not permanently. I'm going to take my decal. Now make sure you're doing it the right way. Like it's going to be right side down, okay? So I'm going to take my deckled rectangle right side down, and I'm going to place it properly centered on that Post-it note, and I'm using the stitching lines around the contoured die to set it up. So there it is, okay? Now, sorry, there you go. So it's placed down. See, my little Post-it note is underneath here, okay? So now I'm going to take some glue. And I'm going to close my card. Okay? So, once I close my card, I can then peel away my Post-it note, and my deckled rectangle is not quite perfectly placed. It's a little crooked. I guess I didn't do the best. Something here is a little crooked, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. I don't worry about things like that. Life's too short. Life's too short, right? So, let's see what we've got here. Do we have anything we could do? We have a cute little thanks. That's cute. We could do this little thanks with a linen bow. Wouldn't that be cute? Let's do that. I've got my linen thread here. And I'm just going to poke it through the hole. There's a little hole on this. Poke it through the hole. Tie myself a little bow if I can. My husband's in the kitchen making frikadellas. No, I didn't give myself enough room. Some days I could do a bow like that, but other days I can't. So I won't waste that. It'll get used, but I'm giving myself a bigger piece. I know it seems wasteful, but I need to some days. Some days I'm just not going to get a bow out of a little piece. But you know me, I don't waste anything. So my tails, which will be fairly long, I'm sure, will get, they'll get used. They'll get used. I promise you. I'm just not quite as coordinated today as I have been on, as I could be on some days. All right, giving myself a little more room. There we go. That is cute. I love linen. And just fancy it up a little bit. I'm going to cut off those tails, which I will use. And I'm going to use, I think I'll use a mini glue dot for that, a mini dimensional for that. Pop it up with the other things, or part of one, maybe just part of one. Maybe just part of one. Can I find one? Oh well, I'll just make one. I'll just make one. Use my little bits. Oh, that is cute. I do like it. So it's kind of an arrangement of DSPs, okay? So we've used, this DSP is from the, let's see, what's it called? It's from the Happy Forest Friends, okay? And this one is from the new Wonderful World DSP that you can earn for free. And cute, cute, cute. Getting ripish. Getting ripish? Okay, so now we need some bling, don't we? We need some kind of bling. I do love these tulips. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. I highly recommend using that paper. Look at the mess I have made, okay? This is creativity at its best. It's a mess, and I love it. Okay, it's worse even over here, but I'm not going to show you that. It's much worse over here. Much bigger mess. Okay, so let's find some bling. What do we think of pearls on this one? I think pearls might be nice because pearls are kind of, you know, fancy. Fancy, fancy. Let's find some. I know I have pearls. I know I have pearls. I love pearls. I have regular pearls. I have colored pearls. But none of them are really the right color. The pink is too pink. So I think we're going to go with regular pearls. So what do you think of that fold? It's cute. It's cute, right? I am a mess maker. I am a mess maker, and that's for darn sure. Ask my husband. No, don't ask my husband. I am a mess maker. But you know what? There's something that I enjoy about the process of cleaning up the mess afterwards. Like I kind of like that, you know, putting it all back together after I've ripped it all apart kind of a feeling. Okay, so let's do this. Let's add some pearls. We'll put one down here. And then I think because there's a space on here, I'm gonna put a pearl on there as well. I think I'm just gonna use the big ones. I like the big ones. We'll put one here. And then we'll put one like randomly over there. Cute. Do you like it? I really like it. So since we're sort of on time here, I thought I'd like to try this. This long die. Now, I had one of those cute little envelopes here somewhere. Lord knows where it got to, but I wanted to try this cute die, and what I thought I would do, because I think I can, let's get a couple of colors. Let's do one that color and one this color. Let's do a Flirty Flamingo. And, oh, thank you, Dorothy. Thank you. And a Flirty Flamingo. And I guess I didn't use this color very much. So let's do that. I'm just going to cut a piece off of each of these, okay? I don't need very much. I'm just going to cut a slice off. And I was watching Marie Coleman yesterday, and she was cutting these, and guess what? She cut 2 at one time, so I'm going to try it, just because I like to try things when I learn them. I like to try things. So I'm going to try it. She did 2 at a time, so let's put them together like this. That's a long one. That's a long one. Does it fit? It fits. It fits just dandy. Let's give this a go. See what we get. Ooh, that requires some arm pressure. Let's see if it worked. I'm going to give it an extra, just in case. There we go. Let's see. Let's see if I was able to cut 2 at a time. No, it's a lie. You can't. So this is interesting. It doesn't cut out the bottom. So you would have to I'm not going to cut it just yet because I don't know what I want to do with it yet. I think I want to do like they showed. I am going to cut a yellow one because I want to show you what I saw. I want to show you what I saw in the catalog, actually, that I really liked the look of. So let's do another one. Ooh, that made a nice mess. Holy smokes. That made a lovely mess of things. So this one requires a little bit of a push. So you got to use your, well, I'm using my boobs, but whatever it takes, right? Let's give it a little push to get it going. And then what I saw was, it's pretty cute. It really is pretty cute. I do like it. So then, you know, I got those mini envelope dies, right? To make that, or the little pocket envelope dies. So what I had seen was they took half a strip of the one color and half a strip of the other color. And let's see, I think you'd have to set them opposite to each other. Like, you know, there's the set that's, I'm going to cut this in half. I can't pick it up. There we go. I'm gonna cut this in half, right about here, and just give it a little snip right there. And then you can cut this one in half, right about in the same place-ish. Well, that wasn't in the same place, but it's okay. And then you stagger them. Get these little, lots of tiny bits here. Lots and lots of tiny bits. and then you stagger them like so. And she had put them on the front. Hers were orange. She had put them on the front of one of those little pocket dies. You know, that little pocket die that I showed you? Or maybe it's this way. Maybe it's this one. In any case, they look really cute staggered like that. Although she had used orange and yellow, and I think the orange, like the pumpkin orange, was maybe a better choice in color for that. But look at those things. They're so cute, right? Haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with them. I'll have a look around and see what people are doing. But I just think those are so cute. There's so many dies in this set. Just so many. That is why God gave me boobs. Absolutely, Kim, no question. You'd be surprised what I use those things for. So that's my card. I really, really like it. I'm pleased with the way that, I'm going to experiment some more. I'm pleased with the way that came out. But again, I cannot express to you enough, you don't have to follow the rules. Even though that's the way those dies are intended to be used, this first one that I made, and I know you can't see it as close up as I can see it here, but this first one that I used, I'm just trying to see if I can give you a closer look at it. It has so much depth and personality, and that was all three, before I knew what I was doing, and that was all three of these folded pieces, and I just shoved them inside each other and made them work. I didn't even use these little ones. It didn't even occur to me that I was supposed to, okay? So don't be afraid to step outside the box and do whatever you want. I'm going to try one with the DSP out of these three pieces and see what I get, because I really, really like it. I'm going to be stuck on this stamp set for a little while. But tomorrow is my first day of work. So I will be working until 4 o'clock, and I'm working Sunday as well. So it's training, so I'm doing 2 days in a row, Saturday and Sunday. And so I will see you again on Monday at 4, and I'm going to show you a really interesting several fold card, a fun fold card with its own envelope. So that'll be fun. All right, so thank you very much for joining me. You know where to find me here, Stampin' with Casey here on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun to be out in the working world again, just for fun, right? What the heck? I miss being with people, and you know, I just miss all that. So I think it would be a good thing for me. All right. So thank you so much for being with me today, and hopefully I will see you Sunday. I may or may not pop on just randomly on the weekend, but you'll get a notification if I do. So just watch your notifications, and perhaps I'll see you later. Thank you for joining me. Bye for now.